Okay, I thought I'd let you see what it's like making this witch's cauldron brew. This is the hardest part of the whole thing, is to get the air out of the umu material. And what I've got to do is bring this up pretty close to just having the entire top surface filled, but not the whole mold. And I think this will boggle your mind. I have that up. You can see some of the bulging of the lettering and stuff sticking up. Now we're going to go over to my little mad scientist lab, and we're going to put a lid on this. And I've got to make sure I get the lid in the right position. And this is a little thing I made up to make this all possible. I think what you're about to see will kind of boggle your mind here. As you can see, a couple levers, and you're going to see a crazy little pump here, which is a vacuum pump. I'm going to turn this valve on, the other valve is off, and it's going to make a lot of noise, but watch what happens. Getting close to full vacuum. Can you see it swelling up? When it gets up close where it's about ready to overflow, I'm going to shut the valve off and shut the pump off, and then we're going to wait. And if it starts to overfill, which it might, I'll have to bleed off a little air. I've got to watch it real close. Can you believe the amount of air that's coming out of the material? Kind of freaked me out the first time I did it. It's no wonder people have bubbles in their molds. But this is how I get the perfect mold as far as the perfection of the surface of the mold. It works really well. Now you're going to see that start to go down a little bit here in a second, which it's doing. But I'm still not done. So I'm going to let it bubble and pause, and I'll put more on the tape in a second. I'm putting my second pressure on it. It's actually not pressure. I'm drawing a vacuum of negative 29 inches of mercury. And you can see, it's been sitting here for about 4 minutes now, and you can see it's still drawing air out, which is hard to believe for people, but it is. Now, as you can see, most of the air bubbles are getting down, but I'm now going to put a little shaking on my bowl. See the big bubbles come up? Oh, this is the fun part. You can see the corners are still large air bubbles coming up. Now you can see most of the air bubbles are gone, and the stuff has shrunk way back in. And you had said you wanted this mold to have a little thinner bottom surface, so these last two I'm making, I'm going to accomplish that right now. Here goes the final pour. Now we don't care about air in this because this isn't anywhere where your lettering or your surface finish is. So I'm just going to add enough to give you that thin bottom that you wanted. That didn't sound good, did it? Okay. Now I'm going to level this out in a second. Got to put just a little more in there. This will make a much more flexible bottom, and I think that's what you were trying to achieve. So I'll turn this off. Now it's really critical to get a flat bottom on these, because when you mold it, if you don't have a flat bottom where it's sitting, it'll cause you some problems. I learned that the hard way a couple times. So what I'm going to do right now is my next little move, which is to do my leveling pounding. This will also get some of the final air out. You can see it's starting to flatten out. And then the final little thing I like to do is punch out some of the air bubbles with a little wire probe you can see here. This really works good, and that looks There's one right under there you can see. I'll pull this one out, pull that one out. Those will level right back. I'm not sure everybody enjoys the fact that I like to get a little crazy on this. See that little bubble coming up there? I'll puncture that, watch what happens. See that porous area? Okay, here is the finished product, and just wanted you to know there is one trick that really helps, and that is to preheat the silicone molds by putting them in a microwave for about 2 minutes. It gives just enough difference to give every letter filled. I'm happy with this.